Good evening, everyone. According to the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration, in the United States, almost 40% of the population lives in relatively high population density coastal areas where sea level plays a role in flooding, shoreline erosion, and hazards from storm. Globally, 8 of the world's 10 largest cities are near coast. Also, urban settings, rising seas threaten infrastructure necessary for local jobs and regional industries. Roads, bridges, and subways, water supplies, oil and gas wells, power plants, sewage treatment plants, landfills, virtually all human infrastructure is at risk from sea level rise. Tonight, I'm going to tell you about 4 ways that rising sea levels threaten our way of life in eastern North Carolina. This is a concern for us right now as well as for our children. First of all, beach erosion is a concern. A recent WRAL documentary says that scientists predict about a 3-foot rise in sea levels off our coast by the end of the century. Stan Riggs, a coastal geologist, says, "We have many shorelines that are less than 1 foot in elevation. If you raise it 2 feet, and remember they're talking about a 3-foot rise, we've got the better part of 6 counties that are gone. They're underwater. They're going underwater at this minute," he says. And SeaLevelRise.org says, the sea level off North Carolina's coast is up to 11 inches higher than it was in 1950 already. 5 millimeters of sea level, a raise that's only slightly more than 2 half-dollar coins stacked, can translate into seawater pushing 15 feet inland per year, according to Dr. Geeden in a recent New York Times article. The second thing I want to talk to you about as being concerned as far as sea levels rising are our loss of agricultural land. According to Stanley R. Riggs in an article published by the Sea Grant North Carolina Coast Watch, salty water is toxic to all land-based trees in the mid-Atlantic climate zone. One place that they're particularly concerned about the seawater inundation at this time is Hyde County, which is not that far from New Bern. They have a lot of agriculture in that county, and they're already experiencing land loss because nothing will grow there anymore because salt water is in the soil. Everything dies off, or at least anything we're interested in growing dies off, and we lose the resource of that land because the soybeans, the corn, the cotton, none of that will grow on that soil anymore. Another concern is for our groundwater. According to the United States Environmental Protection Agency, freshwater resources along the coast face risks from sea level rise. As the sea rises, salt water moves into freshwater areas. Since we all need water, fresh water to survive, this is a huge concern for us going forward. And the last thing I want to talk to you about tonight is the increased damage that storms cause due to the rising sea levels. According to the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration, higher sea levels mean that deadly and destructive storm surges push further inland than they once did, which is another reason that the rising sea levels threaten our fresh water source as well. And they go on to say that this also means that more frequent nuisance flooding occurs. Disruptive and expensive nuisance flooding is estimated to be from 300% to 900% more frequent within U.S. coastal communities than it was just 50 years ago. In conclusion, rising sea levels are causing many problems in eastern North Carolina, including beach erosion, agricultural loss, freshwater contamination, and greater